Tomorrow, the key turns. Prepare yourself. The density of the last few days, the weight of duty and earth you felt, is about to dissolve. Tomorrow the moon leaves Capricorn and enters Aquarius. Tomorrow is not about feeling more, it is about seeing better. The energy arriving favors absolute mental clarity, healthy distance, and truth without beating around the bush. You will notice that, suddenly, you are capable of taking a step back and seeing the big picture of your life. Not as a victim of drama, but as a strategist observing the board. Aquarius brings the gift of useful distance. Do not confuse this with coldness. Useful distance is the space necessary to recognize patterns, cut emotional excess, and keep only what is coherent with who you are today. It is the ability to look at a problem and see its structure, not its pain. In this video, I will give you the quick 3-question criteria to filter your reality, show you how to identify the clean closures that are ready to happen, and teach you the 30-second seal to lock this clarity into your field. If you are ready to exit emotional confusion and enter mental precision, anchor your intention now. The first sign that the moon is arriving in Aquarius and the energy is about to turn is not something you think. It is something your body does on its own. In the last few weeks, under the pressure of Capricorn, you felt the weight of the world. You were inside everything. Inside the problem, inside the emotion, inside the responsibility. You felt the texture of the wall with your nose pressed against it. This is immersion, but it is also blindness. When you are too close, you see the brick, but you don't see the house. Today, the sign is physical. You feel an involuntary impulse to take half a step back. It is not an escape. You are not abandoning your post. It is a readjustment of focus. Suddenly, that situation that yesterday seemed like an uncontrollable fire, today seems just like a scene. You look at it, and for the first time in days, you don't feel the heat burning your skin. You see the fire, you see the smoke, but you are not the fire. This subtle separation between what happens and who observes is the gift of Aquarius. It is the sign of the day. You will perceive this in your breathing. The air, which seemed dense and heavy with earth, becomes thin, electric, and mental. Your body relaxes. The chronic tension in your shoulders, that feeling of carrying an invisible backpack of duties, dissolves. Not because the problems disappeared, but because you stopped carrying them on your back and put them on the table to analyze. Aquarius is the sign of the higher mind. It does not feel the path, it maps the path. This half a step back gives you a tactical advantage you didn't have yesterday, the view of the big picture. While you were in the middle of the emotional drama, you only reacted. He said this, so I feel that. This went wrong, so I am lost. It was an endless chain of action and reaction. Today, with useful distance, you see the structure. You see the pattern. He said that not because he wants to hurt me, but because he is repeating a cycle of his own insecurity. This went wrong, not because I am incapable, but because the process has a flaw in step 2. Do you see the difference? Pain becomes data. Drama becomes diagnosis. This is discernment. It is the ability to look at the storm without getting wet. Many people confuse this energy with coldness or detachment. They will ask you, "Don't you care anymore?" The internal answer is, "I care enough to see the truth," instead of drowning in illusion. To care is not to suffer along, it is to resolve. And to resolve, you need distance. The surgeon cannot cry over the open wound, He needs a steady hand and a dry eye to stitch. Today, you are the surgeon of your own life. The practical test is to observe your reactivity. Yesterday, a sharp message would make you type a 3-paragraph response, shaking with anger. Today, the same message arrives. You read it. You feel the old impulse to react, and it dies halfway. You look at the phone and think, "This doesn't deserve my energy." You block, or reply with a short sentence, or simply ignore it, and return to your coffee. This absence of an emotional hook is freedom. It is the body understanding that it doesn't need to fight every war. Useful distance allows you to see who the actors on your stage are, what script they are following, and most importantly, where the exit door is. When you are glued to the wall, you don't see the door. When you take half a step back, it appears. If you are feeling this strange lightness, this new ability to look at your problems as if they were chess pieces on a board, do not blame yourself for not suffering. Give thanks. Your mind has gone up an octave. You left the emotional basement and went up to the mental penthouse. The air up here is thin, it is cold. But the view is the only one that allows you to find your way home. Accept the retreat. It is not weakness, it is strategy. With the big picture vision activated by the half step back. Chapter 1, the second movement of the moon in Aquarius becomes inevitable. You see the structure, you see the pattern, and suddenly you see the end. We have arrived at clean closures. Most of us are terrified of ending things. We were trained to believe that every end is a failure, or that every closure requires prolonged mourning, a difficult conversation, an endless relationship talk, or a moral justification. Aquarius rejects this premise. For fixed air energy, the end is not a drama, it is a function. It's like closing an app that was draining your phone battery in the background. You don't apologize to the app. You just swipe and close. Today, November 24th, you will feel a sudden loss of interest in everything that depended on your smaller version to exist. You know that conversation you kept up out of politeness, that collaboration you dragged out of guilt, that habit you maintained out of fear of being empty. They lose their glue, they collapse. It's not that you got angry. Anger is still a bond. Anger means you still care, that you are still energetically engaged. What happens today is more lethal than anger. It is lucid indifference. You look at the situation and realize this has nothing to do with me anymore. It is a dry recognition, neutral. The clean closure has a specific signature. It happens through the dry enough. The dry enough does not scream. It does not issue ultimatums. It does not threaten to leave to see if the other changes. It simply notes that the expiration date has passed. It is the moment you decide to stop responding to that provocation, not because you are holding back, but because the provocation sounds boring. It is the moment you leave the message group that only drains your energy. Without a long farewell text, you just click leave. It is the moment you say no to the project that doesn't pay you what you're worth, without negotiating. Thank you, but no. The absence of post-text is the key here. Normally, when we end something, we feel the need to fill the silence that remains. We want to explain why we ended it. We want to ensure the other person isn't upset. We want to stay friends. Aquarius tells you no. The post-text is where the closure gets dirty. It's where you reopen the wound to see if it's healing and end up infecting it again. The clean closure cuts the cord and doesn't look back. It trusts that the vacuum created by the end is necessary. It endures the blank space. You will notice in the coming hours that old situations will try to fish you back. Drama will call you. Guilt will send you an email. Manipulation will try to make you feel responsible for someone else's feelings. The Aquarius test is, do you take the bait or do you maintain useful distance? If you bite, if you start explaining yourself, justifying yourself, trying to make the other understand, you sullied the closure. You went back to the drama. If you maintain distance, if you read the message and don't reply, or reply only with the raw fact, you sealed the end. Today's energy gives you cosmic permission to be the villain in someone else's story, if that means being the hero of your own piece. Often what we call being nice is just a cowardly way to avoid the cut. Today the knife is sharp, and the cut is the greatest kindness you can offer. You free your energy and free the other's energy, even if they don't like it at first. Observe what is dying in your life today. Do not try to resuscitate the corpse. Do not perform mouth-to-mouth on failed projects or one-sided relationships. Let it die. The clean closure leaves no ghosts. It leaves no loose ends. It leaves space, and it is in this space, cold and empty, that the new architecture of your life can finally be built. Be the architect who demolishes the ruin without crying over the bricks. The land needs to be clear. You took the half step back. You started closing the tabs that drained your battery. Now you look at what's left on the table. How do you know what deserves to stay? How to distinguish real opportunity from shiny distraction? How to separate the relationship that has a future from the one that is just a comfortable habit? Aquarius does not operate on guesswork. It operates on system logic. To navigate the energy of this moon, you need a decision algorithm. Something fast that nips doubt in the bud and leaves no room for emotional negotiation. Today, I give you the quick criteria. These are 3 check-in questions. They work like an X-ray scan on any situation, person, or invitation. When doubt hits, do not debate. Apply the test. Question 1. Does it breathe better or tighten? This is somatic calibration. Your body is the hardware. Your mind is the software. The hardware always knows the truth before the software processes the lie. Think of the situation now. Bring its image to your mental screen. What happens to your diaphragm? Does the air come in easier, as if a window had been opened? Or is there a micro-contraction, a subtle knot in the stomach, tension in the jaw? Tightness is not a challenge. Tightness is biological rejection. We often call tightness butterflies in the stomach and think it's excitement. But healthy excitement has ground. Tightness has anxiety. If it tightens, your nervous system has already cast its vote. No, do not try to rationalize the tightness. Oh, but it's a good financial opportunity. If it tightens, the medical cost down the road will be greater than the profit. Oh, but he's a good person. If it tightens, the dynamic is toxic for you. Respect the biology of your expansion. What is yours helps you breathe. Question 2. Does it expand with stability or just excite and empty? Here we separate the wheat from the chaff. Aquarius is an air sign, but it is fixed air. It seeks the future, but it wants a future that sustains itself. Many things in your life give you a dopamine spike. A new idea, a sudden passion, an impulse buy. They excite you. You go up high. But what about after? Is the excitement followed by a void? By an energetic hangover? By a feeling of now what? That is psychic trash. It is the sugar of the soul. It gives quick energy and knocks you down later. What you are looking for is what expands with stability. It is that choice that makes you feel bigger, more capable, but also makes you feel more solid. It is not a helium balloon that can burst. It is a new floor built in your house. You go up and stay there. If the situation promises you the sky but doesn't give you the ground, it is a trap. The Aquarius criterion is sustainability. If it can't stand the test of time, it's no good for the now. Question 3. Is it clear in few words, or does it need a lot of explanation? This is the acid test of truth. Truth is economical. The lie is verbose. Look at the situation. Can you explain what it is, what you want, and where it is going in 2 simple sentences? Or do you need a huge context, but look, footnotes, and complex justifications to make it make sense? If it needs a lot of explanation, it is wrong. If you need to explain to your friends why that relationship is actually good, despite everything, it is not good. If you need to explain to yourself why you stay in that job, it is already over. Confusion is the hiding place of dissonance. Where there is clarity, there is brevity. The criterion of clarity says, if you cannot define it, you should not consume it. Applying these 3 questions should take less than 60 seconds. Does it breathe or tighten? Does it stabilize or empty? Is it simple or is it a labyrinth? If the situation does not pass any of these 3 filters, the answer is closure. There is no middle ground. There is no let's see. If it failed the test, it leaves your field. The rigidity of this filter may seem scary, but it is the only way to ensure your life energy is invested, not spent. You have no more time for more or less. You have no more battery for almost. Use the criteria. The answer you seek is not in the future. It is in your system's immediate reaction to the right question. After applying the quick criteria to your situations, the filter moves to the most sensitive area of your life: people. The moon's entry into Aquarius marks the beginning of a social sorting. Do not be afraid. This does not mean you will break up with everyone. It means the basis of your connections will be tested. Until yesterday, under the influence of Capricorn, many relationships were sustained by duty, habit, or hierarchy. You kept people close because it has always been this way, or because you felt a moral obligation to take care of them. Today, the rule changes. Aquarius does not care about tenure. It cares about frequency resonance. You will notice that 2 types of dynamics begin to crumble immediately. The first is the stage dynamic. Many of your relationships are not exchanges, they are performances. One person gets on stage to dramatize their own life, the pains, the victories, the opinions, and the other, you, stays in the audience, applauding, validating, or consoling. Today you step down from the audience. You get tired of the theater. When you stop applauding, the person on stage gets irritated. They will try to turn up the volume of the drama to bring you back. But with your useful distance activated, you just observe. You realize that relationship isn't about connection. It's about attention supply. And you cut the supply. The second type that falls is the fusion dynamic. Those people who need to be glued to feel they are loved, who interpret your silence as abandonment, who demand an immediate response. Aquarius is the air sign. It needs space, so the fire doesn't go out. If someone suffocates you, today you will feel an almost violent urge to pull away. It isn't lack of love, It is a need for oxygen. What remains then? What are the compatible relationships? The relationships that withstand space remain. They are those people with whom you can be silent without it being awkward. People who understand that you can disappear for 3 hours to focus on your project, and it doesn't mean you stopped liking them. Aquarian intimacy is shared freedom. It is the relief of being with someone who doesn't charge you an energetic toll every 5 minutes. The relationships based on direct sincerity remain. Remember truth without beating around the bush? Compatible relationships are those where you can say what you think without walking on eggshells. Where conflict is not an end, but an adjustment. Where friendship is strong enough to handle the truth. The relationships of shared vision remain. Aquarius does not look eye to eye. That is Scorpio. Aquarius looks shoulder to shoulder, forward. The people who stay in your life today are those looking at the same horizon as you. You don't need to agree on everything, but you need to be going to the same place. If you want to grow, and the person wants comfort, the road forks today. This sorting might seem lonely at first, but the result is immense peace. You stop carrying dead weights. You stop feeding emotional vampires, and the space that opens in your life begins to be occupied by people who, like you, value clarity more than drama. Observe who stays by your side when you stop performing. Those are yours. The rest was just an audience. You applied the criteria, you cleared the stage relationships. Now, the field begins to return the result. How do you know if you really entered the Aquarius frequency? The answer doesn't come through a strong emotion. It comes through efficiency. The first practical confirmation is the phenomenon of the whole idea. Under the influence of Earth, Capricorn, you were used to building solutions brick by brick with effort. Today, the mechanics change. The solution is not built, it is received. You are washing dishes or walking, and suddenly, the answer to that complex problem drops into your mind. It comes complete. You see the beginning, the middle, and the end in a second. It is a download. Do not dismiss this as imagination. This is your antenna picking up the clean signal. When the idea arrives, whole, execution is fast. The second confirmation is network synchronicity. Aquarius rules the invisible connection between fits. You will notice that things start connecting without your manual effort. You need a contact. The contact messages you. You need a tool. The ad appears. You think of someone. The person calls. Seems obvious? That is the point. When emotional resistance gets out of the way, life's logistics flow. The obvious is just reality operating without friction. The third and most powerful confirmation is internal. The urge to explain disappears. Remember that anxiety to justify every step. It evaporates. You make an unpopular decision, like refusing an invitation or ending a project, and expect to feel guilt. But guilt doesn't come. Instead, a strange and solid peace comes. You catch yourself thinking, that's it. And I don't need to say anything else. This absence of guilt is the definitive proof that you have exited drama and entered clarity. Your axis is so firm that external validation has become unnecessary. If ideas are arriving ready-made, if connections are fast, and if the silence inside your head is one of peace and not doubt, the system has updated. You are operating on the new frequency. You took the half step back, you cleared the excess. You saw the picture. Now you need to lock this configuration. If you do not seal this clarity, the gravity of habit will try to pull you back into emotional confusion in the next few hours. Drama will try to enter through the window. Doubt will try to fog up the glass. The 30-second seal is the command that prevents regression. Forget long rituals. Aquarius is a sign of air and electricity. It responds to speed and precision. You do not need half an hour, you need half a minute of absolute truth. Do it now. Wherever you are, stand up. Do not do this sitting down. Sitting is the position of one who consumes. Standing is the position of one who commands. Align your spine. Feel the top of your head pulling upwards. You're a vertical antenna picking up a clean signal. Keep your eyes open. Scorpio asked for closed eyes to see inside. Aquarius asks for open eyes to see the horizon. Fix your gaze on a point in front of you. Do not look at the object, look through it. It is the gaze of one who sees the structure, not the surface. Breathe once, releasing the air with a short sound, as if you were cleaning a lens. Remove the mental dust. Bring your attention to the center of your forehead, the place of vision. And now, aloud and firmly, without shouting, but without trembling, say the Axis phrase. Say it like someone pressing the Enter key to save an important file. I keep it clear. Stop. Do not repeat. Do not explain. Do not add please or amen. Just stay in silence for 10 seconds. Feel the phrase vibrate in the air and settle in your field. Feel your body temperature cool slightly, not from cold, but from sobriety. The heat of reaction has left. The light of vision remains. You have just informed your nervous system what the operating rule is for the next 24 hours. You defined the pattern. Anything that reaches you now and is not clear will hit this seal and be repelled. Done. The rite is over. Go back to your day. Clarity is not something you seek. Now it is something you carry. The seal has been locked. You have exited emotional survival mode and entered mental strategy mode. Remember this as you cross the next 24 hours. This transit does not serve to intensify what you feel. It serves to improve what you see. Drama will try to seduce you with urgency, heat, and noise. Do not yield. Your new tool is useful distance. Use it without moderation. If something tightens your chest, take that half step back. If a choice confuses you, apply the 3 questions of the quick criteria. If a relationship demands a stage and performance, cut the lights and leave the audience. Clarity is not a prize for those who suffer more. It is the natural state of those who have stopped adding noise to reality. You don't need to be cold to be free. You just need to be surgical. Keep your spine erect and your gaze on the horizon. What sustains your life stays. What just drains your battery goes away without long goodbyes. The rest is silence and execution. You recovered your vision. Do not let anyone fog up the lens again. To anchor this clean vision, lock the Aquarius frequency in your field and notify the universe that you are no longer available for confusion. Leave your final decree registered now. Write in the comments, I keep it clear. Keep the vision clean.